All right, everybody, your friend in the business, Jason here at jasonfinalexpense.com. I'm going to go through some details with you on one-party consent states, two-party consent states, helping you understand about recording Medicare calls. There was a very recent ruling here that CMS published. They published a final ruling here on May 9th, 2022, announcing policy and regulatory revisions changes taking place. So I'm going to dive into some of this with you about how to record calls, how to keep yourself really safe so that you can sustain your career and stay in your lane as we move forward in some of these uncharted waters for you if you're new. So if you're selling Medicare Advantage and need to understand about recording calls, we're going to dive into the details because let me share with you, the devil's in the details sometimes. So I'm going to help you with this content. Hope you find value in it today. And before I go into this, jasonfinalexpense.com, I do run a national insurance agency. I partner and I recruit agents across this nation. We sell Medicare, life, and annuities face-to-face and yes, in the telespace. So let's get after it. Thanks for joining me today. CMS, with the most recent final ruling, they talked about the one very important change being that states, very clearly that agents must record all calls, yes, ALL calls with Medicare beneficiaries in their entirety, including the enrollment process. So very soon, very shortly, you're going to have some additional hurdles before you can help Medicare Advantage clientele when you're using the phone with anything. If you're talking to them on the phone, you better be prepared to record them. So this video is going to give you some clarity on one-party consent states. So first off, one-party consent states, that just means that if you're recording a call in that state, there's no problem with you pushing the button and recording the phone call. So that just means one person, you, the insurance agent, the producer, can record the call and keep it, not a problem. You can legally do that. The problem is you don't have this loophole in 11 other states. You're going to get stung. Some big call centers got popped. They got fined hard, because they were recording calls and they lost an insane amount of money. Welcome to litigators, They lost an insane amount of money because they were recording calls without permission and consent. All right. So I'm going to dive into this with you. So if you're calling a two-party consent state, you better gear up and get ready because when these regulatory revisions go into effect, you as a Medicare insurance agent cannot just be recording calls and thinking that's good enough. It's going to get you popped, So the 11 states that require two-party consent, that just means that both people on the call, you and the consumer, you and the Medicare beneficiary have to give consent, not just listening to you saying that it's being recorded, That means they have to say, I agree with the recording of the call. All right, so when you're on that phone call with them, these are the states you got to really pay attention to. California is a two-party consent state. Delaware. So if you're taking notes, grab some pen and paper. If you're working in these states, you're going to want this list if you're a Medicare Advantage, insurance agent, using the phone, California, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Washington State. Now I'm talking about DC, But these are the states that you have to, on a recorded line, right in the beginning, in the very beginning. Do you understand this call is going to be recorded and you consent and agree to the recording of this call? You better get an I do, like you're getting married before you move forward. If not, that call's over with, The last thing that you want to do in these states is get into a position that you violate the Wiretap Act, It is illegal, to secretly record in oral, telephonic, or electronic communication. There you go. That other, parties reasonably expect to be private, meaning a phone call, So you have to make sure that they consent to the recording of this. The last thing you want to do is get yourself into trouble here. So if you're in these 11 states that aren't single party, one party consent states, Get yourself ready. You got to get yourself into a position where you've got good scripts, that you're smooth as silk when this comes into play so that you can stay powerful. I want you as a Medicare insurance agent to stay profitable, stay in the fight. And you're going to have to understand that you're going to need to do some additional things coming up that are not going to be comfortable. Be like Billy Graham's wife, okay? Plan for the worst, pray for the best, get prepared now. Okay. So you've got to be prepared, first off, and even understanding a one-party consent state plays by different rules than a two-party consent state does. You've got to be prepared. I would say put best practices in order that you get permission and consent from all people if you're an agent that works multiple states, because you don't want to make a mistake that costs you an insane amount of money. It's not worth it. Okay. Last thing you need is lawsuits on your hands. So the states that you need to be aware of, once again, okay, these are two-party consent states. It means everybody needs to give permission and consent. Now, in a two-party consent state, if it's, let's say, me and you, the viewer, on a phone call, I say, Miss Mary, do you understand and agree to the recording of this call? Yes. She better say yes, or I got to hang up that phone. Okay. I can't be recording it. Let's say you're talking to a consumer, and then all of a sudden their daughter wants to talk to you on the phone. Well, guess what? That daughter needs to give you permission, and you got to put that disclaimer out there again for the daughter. Now, you were talking to Mary and got permission to record the call. The daughter comes online. Now you need permission in a two-party consent to get that daughter to give you permission, and she's got to agree to the recording of the call as well. So make sure any new person that hops on that line, because sometimes this happens, if you got another decision maker, a daughter, a mother, a brother, a son that jumps on that phone call, always lean back on getting consent and permission before you proceed. Just want to warn you, in two-party consent states, even big call centers have gotten popped and gotten a lot of trouble over this. So treat most states like a two-party consent state. In my opinion, you'll always be safe, but you got to be in a position that you understand state law versus federal law, and you want to find this out early. So I hope these states help you in two-party consent states, and hopefully give you some light on what you need to do as you lean forward with what's taking place with CMS and Medicare insurance sales. But it's also something that applies if you are recording calls. All right, make sure you're paying very careful attention if you're doing business in two-party consent states. If you're using a dialer with recording capacity and you're recording anyone without their permission and consent, you are in massive violation and you can have a mess on your hands. Just don't do it. All right, so moving forward with some of the CMS, okay, rulings that just took place here on May 9th of 2022. You got to understand the policy and regulatory revisions that just took place recently is the very important change that states that field agents must, like I said, record all calls with Medicare beneficiaries in their entirety, including the enrollment process. Okay. When this happens, you need to be ready to help people and already have your recording systems in play, as well as archiving capability. You need to have a good CRM with a dialer if you're using a CRM and dialer already. If your CRM and dialer is not set up for this, you're not set up for success, you're going to be squawking, okay, when this comes down. Be deliberate right now. Get prepared so that you can maintain profitability. There's additional things from my video yesterday. You're going to understand what they're currently stating you must get out of your mouth in the first 60 seconds. But if you're working in any state, you need to understand one-party consent states versus a two-party consent state. This is very important for you, the viewer, to understand. Even if you're selling final expense, if you're recording calls, make sure you can't, okay, do that at all. So if you've maybe made that mistake, don't do it again. Last thing you want to do is get in trouble like some big call centers have, because they were recording calls in states that they shouldn't have. Okay. And it wasn't pretty. So understand Medicare, CMS, it's definitely an evolving situation right now, but get yourself ready. Get yourself ready so that you're not spooling. Get yourself in a position where you're powerful. You can have corporate call center capacity, okay, with your recording, just using good phone systems. I've got amazing, okay, phone systems with corporate call center capacities for recordings. It's phenomenal. But even with your corporate call center recording capacity, you need to understand one-party consent and two-party consent states so that you stay safe. A script will keep you safe all day, every day. This is why good corporate call centers, good even telesales organizations will have a very good script. That's why we at JasonFinalExpense.com use proven power scripts to keep the agent force safe in what we say, but it also keeps you very sharp so that you don't lose your edge when you're on that phone call. The last thing you want to do is play like it's the Wild West and then get whooped. Okay, this happens in Medicare insurance, final expense insurance. Doesn't matter what you sell. If you want to be sharp, have a good script. It keeps you safe. It keeps you on point as you help your consumer. But let me share with you, you've got to have good recording capabilities moving forward. Get a good phone system. You don't need a CRM to have corporate call center recording capability. You do not need a CRM to do this. You don't need a CRM with a dialer to do this. But if you have a CRM with a dialer, get ready to start archiving. I would encourage you to start preparing now, not later. Okay, so you don't miss a beat. Everybody else is going to be panicking. I was chatting with another agent from a captive insurance agency, and they had no clue what just took place, okay, with CMS's final ruling that happened on May 9th. They weren't paying any attention, and they're going to be in a place of pain when they find out maybe a little too late. Okay, just be prepared here. Get yourself prepped up with good recording software, or reach out, jasonfinalexpense.com. I can help you understand some things that you can do to prepare early, but prepare yourself. Okay, preparation will keep you profitable. Don't wait till, okay, you shouldn't have. All right. So get yourself ready. Use a good CRM. If you need a good CRM with good recording capabilities, reach out. I can serve you with that as well. I know quite a few different ones that are really good, but don't trust their cloud. If you've ever had a CRM with archive capability, it's all good till it's not good. So I would encourage you to get a couple terabyte of storage. Yes, a couple terabyte of storage, and organize them by the name of the consumer. Okay, first name, last name, maybe even middle initial. Organize them so you can find it and have it be searchable so that you stay safe here. Okay, because if you get audited, if you get popped when this stuff goes into play, you're not going to be a happy agent. Okay, so make sure that you get yourself in a position where you can archive it. Don't trust the CRMs with recording capabilities in the cloud. All right, it's going to be caustic for you when that CRM goes down. And I've used CRMs, just CRMs, all right, that were well known. I'm not even going to name drop them, even though I'd love to. But I'll share with you, I've had multiple CRMs in my career that have gone the way of the dodo. All my leads were there until they weren't. They were lost forever. People at corporate, back when I was a captive agent, couldn't even find the leads. They were panicking. You want to do that when you're being required to record all calls? I don't think so. Get yourself a good terabyte, multiple terabytes of storage, and make sure that you archive everything yourself so that you are squeaky clean and can move forward, even if the worst case scenario of a crash happens on the cloud. So I'm just trying to prepare you for what you may need to be doing, as you may need to archive and record in the Medicare space. Want to keep you safe. No need to panic. Start putting some time in on the weekends of getting yourself ready to record if you need to. Maybe partner with some good agencies that can help you through this. But you need to be in a position of power and strength. But understand, single-party consent states, really important to know those. Two-party consent states, if you're recording now, okay, don't do it again. If you accidentally did it in a two-party consent state, you could be in some major trouble, just like some other places have as well. So this is what you need to know. Understand, you can have just a phone that has phenomenal recording capability, phenomenal organizational, okay, positions that you can record and archive amazingly easy. But also there are some good dialers with, okay, recording capabilities too. But normally those recordings are only going to last for so many months. So you need to make sure that you got a system in play to save those calls. It'll save your britches if the boogeyman comes for you. So I hope this helps you today with this content. If you need anything at all, reach out. jasonfinalexpense.com. Free resources on my website for you as well. And I appreciate you watching today. Keep taking care of good people. Never take your eyes off of who we serve. The better we can make our clients' lives, the better we will be. And there's no need to panic. Put a little extra time in, a little extra preparation. You'll be more powerful in this space. I promise you, as a result. When everybody's bobbing, we're a weaving. Get yourself ready. You're warriors, I know. Have a great day. And as any new updates come about, I'll put them on here as well. I appreciate you.